What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nerds of UVM. I am your host, David. I'm joined by my friend Luke.
Hey, everybody.
I'm joined by my friend Bob.
Hello.
And today we have a new member. We're joined by our friend Io. Everybody give Io a round of applause. Woo! Hi, Io. How are you today?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
It's good to hear. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this episode here?
All right, I am Nigerian, and I'm sophomore/junior, which is complicated.
Yeah, we were debating that.
Yeah. We're not going to get into details. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well, you're a nerd too, definitely.
Yeah,
That's why you're here. That's why you're one of us. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and everybody out there, not just the ladies or the gentlemen, everybody out there, we're getting into a long episode because we're back from break. All right, we're back at this new semester. We're starting off strong.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we got to talk about. Particularly, one of those things we're going to talk about is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Ooh, it's time.
So we're getting to that. So Luke and I just saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday evening, actually.
It was my second time.
It was my third time seeing it.
Okay.
I've seen it 3 times too.
Yeah, Bob has seen it 3 times. You are not a Star Wars guy, but you just watched The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi yesterday.
Yeah.
So you're all up to speed.
Oh,
with,
no
like,
way,
what's
you
going
did?
on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
like a good
everybody's
idea.
sort of on the same page in terms of like what they saw.
Mm.
Who wants to share their thoughts first? Because I know you and I have thoughts, Bob.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go first, Bob.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. Not by a long shot. I think Empire is like a perfect Star Wars movie. That's still my number one. Personally.
Most people will agree.
Yeah.
I feel.
I do move this up to number 2. I do. I know there are things I still don't like. I did not like about Last Jedi, which we'll get into in a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of red herring things I think that just did not fit. I don't know. I just liked how they took so many risks, and to me, it paid off. And it wasn't like how I would go at it like Force Awakens had a lot of people clamoring like, oh, it was just a New Hope, but set 30 years into the future. Blah blah blah.
That was what I was saying.
Yeah, and I have that's a valid argument. I totally see similarities between the two. But for this, I mean, first of all, I liked how Luke didn't innocently start teaching Rey. I honestly love that because he disappeared for like 15-ish years, let's say, before the New Order, like when he was still teaching
First Order.
First Order. Because I mean, just the cycle repeated itself. Because he knew the history of the Jedi. He like the legend of Luke Skywalker got the better of him, and he saw the darkness in himself. Even though it was for a fleeting instant, but he lit a lightsaber to slash his nephew in 2.
Rough.
I mean, that is rough. It's rough. And then he just saw the entire Jedi Order basically be exterminated again. I totally get why he went hermit mode. I totally do. And he was hesitant. Granted, I thought the beat of him tossing the lightsaber over his shoulder.
I kind of saw it coming. He was like holding it. I'm like, this dude's.
I thought he was
throw
just
the
gonna.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
Throw his lightsaber.
He just throws the thing away. He just throws the saber into the garbage like a joke. Why?
There's some debate on that. Maybe he should have just dropped it or something, or just handed it back to her. But he still did it. He still rejected it. And that's one of the reasons why I thought it just took risks. It kept me guessing. Honestly, it did. I liked how. Oh, first of all, Kylo Ren is the real villain. Snoke was never gonna be the ultimate badass villain.
I just wish we knew a little more about him.
See, I don't care. I don't care about that because Kylo was the main villain, and he killed the Master. Not like Vader did to protect his son. Kylo killed him to get the power, to be the First Order leader.
It's a very Sith thing of him to do.
It's a very Sith thing.
For someone who considers not caring about the Sith.
Okay, and that's my spiel. I want to hear
That's
everybody.
your spiel? Okay.
That's my spiel.
Luke,
That's part of my spiel.
Luke, give us your spiel.
My spiel. So for the most part, I liked it. There was definitely a lot of bold decisions made in the movie. Out of those bold decisions, the ones I enjoyed, I did like the kind of change in direction of the character for Luke. I know a lot of people were like, this isn't Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoyed how he was portrayed. I know Mark Hamill didn't enjoy.
Is there anything that you want us to know going into The Last Jedi? Anything you want to tell the audience or the world about this one in comparison to the other ones?
It's the longest one. It doesn't matter.
Well, he says by the end of it he did.
Yeah.
I know there's mixed messaging going around that. I'm assuming that he enjoyed being part of the process.
Yeah, I think he respects like Rian Johnson's direction, but in his head, like that's not his.
But
Skywalker.
that's the thing with a lot of actors. You know, like they have a vision and then it might clash, but he still did a great job in it.
The like creative decisions that I wasn't a huge fan of. I really didn't like when Leia stuck her hand out in space and just like.
Oh, by the way, there are spoilers here.
Yeah, this is gonna be spoilers.
I should have prefaced that like head on. Yeah, I mean we already talked about spoilers, but yeah, go ahead.
It sucks to be you if you were holding out on the spoilers. But anyway, yeah, I didn't like how like Leia was just like, all right, I'm super strong with the Force now, and just like flies over to the ship. Also missed opportunity. Like I know they want to keep Carrie Fisher as like, and she was already shot in the movie doing a bunch of stuff.
When the episode 9?
Yeah, no, for episode 8.
Oh yeah.
Like, but if they wanted an easy way to get rid of the character and just do some reshoots, you know, they could have done that. Yeah. But I mean, it was still cool because then the other stuff she did in the movie was cool.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know, she was just one of the more witty characters. So.
Yeah, I thought she did great in this movie.
Yeah, like she's like, I know what you're gonna say. I changed my hair. Like it was one of my favorite lines.
That was a good line. That was a great line.
And then finally, the last decision I didn't like personally was like Snoke being killed, but I also like the fighting scene with all the red guards after it.
That was. I don't know. I mean, I know Luke has. I don't know if Bob, you or Io have seen the Clone Wars TV series. The animated TV series, yeah. They're very well known for like their highly choreographed fight sequences, and that felt like straight out of that Clone Wars series. And high quality fight sequences.
It did. I never thought of it like that, but it was. You could tell something was going to go down because if you saw like the 2-minute behind the scenes training thing, you saw Daisy do like the block, and you saw Adam Driver's character do like that a spin move to like, and there was a few other stunties around him during the training process, so you knew something was going to go down. I just didn't know they were going to be connected. I thought she was going to like face off against maybe like a few of those stormtroopers with like riot batons or something like that.
Yeah.
And who knows what Kylo could have been potentially against in that behind the scenes, but I had no idea it was just going to be an all-out 8 versus 2.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, I'll let you get back to your spiel, but I'll say those Praetorian guards, they're a lot cooler than the Imperial Royal Guards.
They are.
Yeah.
I love them.
Like that red whip thing that a couple of them had.
And he was doing the whole Chinese thing wrap around. Oh my god, that was great.
There was not a whole lot of action in the film. But the action they did have, I feel, was solid.
The opening
was like some of the
battle.
most solid stuff in like the entire
The bombing run
series.
was amazing.
I have issues with that bomb, but anyway.
David, yeah. I mean, that's my spiel if you want to start off with the
No.
bombing
I want to go to Io first. Io, so you haven't seen the original trilogy, like the ones from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
But you did see the more modern movies.
Yeah.
So this is like your first experience with like that old trilogy sort of feel and attitude almost.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah. What did you think about The Last Jedi?
Well, I thought the movie was pretty well thought out and it was good, and I'd say a little bit better than Justice League.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I felt like they were trying to kill off the old characters. Like we could see that with Han Solo, we saw that with Mark Hamill's character.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker. I don't know how he's supposed to act, but you guys say he's not that way. So yeah, but I mean it was a pretty decent movie.
Okay. All right.
I'd say.
So I've seen it 3 times now.
Okay.
I need to see it 3 times because they say every time you go back and see it, it's more enjoyable.
True that.
I agree, but to a certain extent, the stuff that I don't enjoy becomes even more pronounced. So
I feel like I don't know. That's kind of a thing that would be true for any movie. Like, oh, the stuff I like even more. But now, like,
but I mean, I don't know.
Man, a second viewing of The Last Jedi really did the trick. Turned me from a like to a lover. I love the movie now. But really, once you've seen the movie 6 times, that's when it starts to get good. Okay.
So I want to sort of just go through the movie if we can.
Yeah.
Opening sequence. I think that opening sort of like trumpet blare that goes on like as they go down to the planet. That's really cool. The Poe Dameron stuff in the X-wing, really great. The comedy is really bad.
Oh,
I
agreed.
thought is Hux there?
Yeah, it's
please hold.
Yeah,
that felt more.
That felt Marvel.
That felt Marvel.
Hang on, there are moments
of
like
Iron Man.
Yeah, there are moments of like Star Wars humor in here that I feel like is great. Like I love the end sequence after like. No, there's actually that entire moment when, like, Kylo is telling everybody to shoot all the guns that they have on Luke Skywalker in the middle of it, and then Hux goes like, "That's enough." He looks back to Kylo's like, "Do you think you got it?" Like that's yeah. And then you see Luke, and he just goes like, "Yeah." I thought that was great. I'm like, that is Star Wars.
There were good Star Wars humor moments, and then there were the ones that didn't totally hit. Like I think the Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder was one.
Why?
Yeah.
For me,
yeah.
The Poe Dameron conversation just stalled to wait for the booster rocket to fully charge.
Yeah, I get that, but it's not like
I know. Yeah, I get you feel like it just didn't feel Star Warsy.
It was interesting because in The Force Awakens, Hux is almost like a Nazi. Like the way he just conducts himself.
He totally is. And then like everybody gives him like the Force Order Nazi salute.
Yeah. But then in this movie, like immediately they set the tone like we're nerfing this character. He's comic relief.
Yeah. But then like they also don't nerf him like towards. I'll get back to that later because I do want to run through this movie. Yeah. I think Poe in the X-wing is great because he actually looks like he's the best pilot ever in a Star Wars movie. Just in general.
He's OP.
Better than Anakin. Better than Luke. Better than Han.
Kylo had some natural flight moments too.
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we got the opening bit. All right, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't like the bombers. I find it weird that they. Okay, so this is an organization, right? The Resistance that's like strapped for cash and strapped for support. They have like no public support whatsoever. This Y-wing was the bombing ship in the Rebel Alliance. It was a small one-person fighter. You could launch. It was easier to move, and it had like these self-defense turrets.
Yeah.
You know that could assist it when it was doing its bombing run. Those bombers are slow. They are pathetic. They explode like from the smallest thing. It looks like.
Well, those bombs were primed when that TIE fighter ran into.
Okay. Here's another thing.
But then it like three of them.
About
that's what shrapnel does, dude.
But here's the thing about the bombing sequence in general. I understand Star Wars is like science fiction fantasy more than like science fiction. Yeah. Like not everything's supposed to be scientific accurate. Clearly, humans could
talking about how the bombs were able to hit it?
Yeah, okay. Clearly,
they were magnetized.
Clearly, what?
They were magnetized bombs.
What are you talking about?
The round circle bombs. Are you talking about how they were able to actually hit the dreadnought in space?
Why did they just drop though?
Because they're magnetized.
Oh, is that the explanation they gave?
Yeah,
I never saw that. They never said that.
No. That was like. First of all, I didn't care. I mean, those little things, I don't.
No, here's the thing. I don't care. I didn't care about the first time either. But once somebody mentions it, I'm like, oh yeah. Why were they able to just fall? Also, why was there no vacuum? Why was there no vacuum in that?
That did bother me too.
Like
maybe there was a force field. They didn't like.
But like they have ray shields.
I know
that have been used to show that before.
I know.
Why has that not been a? Anyway, that's bombing sequence. I got annoyed by that.
I didn't mind the throwback to like a B-17 Fortress from World War II. I didn't mind that throwback.
Yeah, but you got like Y-wings.
I know.
Like these are easier to produce than those big things.
I know.
Like,
I mean, but maybe because it was such a big ship, they didn't have enough Y-wings.
David, I do believe on this show though. You said like. You know, I want to see some like new tech. So it was a new like.
Yeah, but like I mean,
that is true.
No, but here's all right. You got me there. But that's like, I don't know. When you're, I don't know. For the Resistance, like you know what works. Why don't you just go with this? Especially when you're strapped for cash and support. Like this should be easy to do.
I don't know.
Especially because you only need one person to operate this. Instead of like 4 or 5 people. Also, why was the person at the top dead? Like there was no explosion. The pilot was okay. Why was that person just not there? What happened? I don't understand.
It's better for the job.
Here's the thing. Almost everything with the Resistance stuff, all the stuff with the Resistance, I did not like. unless it was Poe or Finn, I didn't really like anything. Or Leia, we'll say. And 3PO, actually. 3PO had some great moments. Like, I specifically remember when, like, 3PO was on the bridge as, like, Poe was beginning the coup, yeah. And 3PO's like, no, I must leave this. I cannot be a part of this. And then the door starts to just sort of explode. He's like, oh, no! Like, that's so 3PO.
He's like, never mind.
So, yeah, that stuff is weak. I was disappointed with how Rose ended up being, because I think her introduction is terrible to begin with. I see the connection with her sister, and I get, okay, she's just lost her sister. She's in a little bit of a state. But the way we're introduced to her also is through Finn's perspective. Finn wants to just get off because he wants to be away. So that
he sees her as annoying. So
he sees her as annoying.
Like at the beginning, we think she's annoying too.
Yeah, and like she doesn't really have time to grow out of that like annoying state.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because she might have come off annoying, but she stunned 3 guys trying to escape an escape pod. So I think that kind of says something about her. And she stunned him.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I really wanted to like Rose too, because like I saw interviews with Kelly Marie Tran, and she just seems like super cool, down to earth, like a huge Star Wars nerd like the rest of us. But like I didn't like what they did with her character. It seemed like she was a bit of a mouthpiece for like pushing some stuff on the audience. I think she has potential to grow. I think she does too. Yeah, I just think like almost every step that they took with her that was supposed to be like impactful was almost like not.
Did you guys believe the like romance between her?
Yeah, that was non-existent.
Yeah,
I didn't buy the romance. Well, I think the whole point of Canto Bight was a total waste of time, especially because they didn't even get the code break.
That's one of the things I did not like. Going to Canto Bight, I wouldn't have minded if like it turned out to be DJ was the code break.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
But it was a red herring to use that actor, I can't remember his name.
Benicio del Toro.
No, not
Justin
him.
Theroux.
Yeah, Justin Theroux as a throwback. It's like, excuse me, darling, I'm on a roll. And then he just throws dice again.
What was that a throwback for?
I think it was actually kind of a throwback to like Temple of Doom. Because Indiana,
the suit looks like Temple of Doom.
But no, like just a stupid like British character like that, just in a Canto Bight, you know, like just, excuse me, darling, I'm on a roll. And then I thought they were going to do something for him, because you saw his like date look at him like, what is going on? So I thought maybe they're going to do something like that.
My issue with Canto Bight is that the entire sequence becomes like an attack on the 1% and an attack on like animal abuse, which is fine. Like Star Wars has not ever been without political messages of any kind. Like if you look at the prequels, it's pretty much like government is apt to be corruptible, so you need to be careful of that. You can't just keep giving it power. You cannot continue to give it power all the time. In fact, that's like the whole message behind like that's the cautionary tale behind Chancellor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody who you kept just like allowing to stay in office and allowing to keep power in a situation of war. That might not be the best idea for you.
But I did like how
in Canto Bight though, it seemed like so much more sloppily like applied.
It was very obvious what they were going for that. But I also liked how DJ kind of turned the tables on Finn's ideology and was like, look, dude, this guy sold to both sides.
That aspect I liked.
Another thing that I think I got weirdly appreciative about was like, war is bad. You do realize this movie is called Star Wars, right? It's kind of like the whole selling point of your movie. I don't understand why it's. I don't follow the logic. So that was a little weird.
I mean, like that was just iffy for me.
The stuff with Canto Bight was rough. I think they totally underutilized Finn in a lot of ways too. He was definitely like not as. He wasn't as much of a character as he was back in Force Awakens.
Yeah,
I felt he was like they definitely like it's like they totally just switched and like gave Poe more character.
Well, I think Poe's gonna.
I think Poe was great.
I think Poe's gonna be the leader now.
I would believe so.
But I don't know how you feel like because like Star Wars, like there's always like those. What I liked about this movie too is like in a lot of movies too, there's always those 1,000,000 to 1 odds where like they have those secret backdoor things to make sure the plan works, and they did this in this movie too. And I thought, oh great, here we go, another 1,000,000 to 1 odds thing is gonna pull through. Not happen whatsoever.
What do you mean?
Like disarming the hyperspace tracking.
Yeah, no,
that was supposed to be I love that. I love how it didn't work. And Holdo did a suicide run.
Yeah, here's what I will say.
That 3 seconds of silence was awesome.
You can argue for Admiral Holdo or whatever. I felt like the character was kind of like I didn't really get what she was sort of going for at the end of the day. I will say. The theme about, which I think actually mirrors Empire in a lot of ways, the theme about failure and sort of learning from failure and moving on with it, in the movie I thought was great, because that was ultimately like Luke's whole arc. Like, you are a master, You cannot just pass on your strengths. You have to take your weaknesses and tell your student to learn from them. That's ultimately like what the failure is with Kylo Ren. It's a failure with Rey. That is the failure with the First Order. That's like the failure with everything. Yeah. You're only trying to take the good parts, and you're not taking the bad with them. Because if you don't take the bad, you're ultimately going to make the same mistakes, and history's just going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Which again, I think was the whole thing Kylo Ren was saying, like leave it in the past. You got to do something new here.
Yeah.
So I liked those larger themes of Star Wars that I was talking about. I don't know. I feel like it got really muddled with a lot of bad subplot. Particularly stuff that related to the Resistance and Finn and Rose's adventures. I don't know. I still think I enjoy the movie. I'm pretty sure I enjoy the movie. I now that actually I've had a chance to like really go in deep with it, I think I enjoy. I used to say I dislike it more than I like it. I think I've reversed. I like it more than I dislike it.
Good.
It's not my number 2 though. Actually, I don't know where I can put it. It's definitely the weakest of the new 3 movies that have come out so far.
Also, I don't know. I don't have a set number for the new 3.
I like Rogue One and The Force Awakens.
So far, I like Rogue One. I think I still like Rogue One the best, just because it went into dark territory for the Rebellion, which is what like we discussed.
That's what this movie did too.
Yeah, because the Rebellion was shown as a beacon of hope. They didn't do anything wrong, but then you saw Cassian say, we're smugglers, we're mercs, we're just guys who have to do the dirty work, and this is a chance for us to do some good. So I mean that's what really helped tie Rogue One for me together.
Okay.
But I still put this as number 2. I mean, I saw it opening day matinee. I sat on it. I'm not one of those people who has to instantly post like, oh, I hated this movie or I love this movie. I sat on it. I thought about it. I saw it again Sunday, and it basically reaffirmed my love for this movie.
Okay.
That's my personal thing with it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm also in the boat of like liking it more than disliking it. Definitely there was a lot of wasted potential with the Resistance side of things, but I think the whole story with Rey and Kylo, super solid the whole way through. Yeah. Action was great, so.
Okay, all right. I own any final thoughts?
Nope.
Well, I think I'm going to close the episode off there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode of Nerds of UVM. If you like what we've done here, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, which you can find right next to right here. If you want to keep up to date with what the show is up to, you can follow us right there, over there. And that'll do it for about this episode, I think. I don't know, I'm still getting back into the groove, so my outros will be a little weak right now. But I've been David.
I've been Luke.
I've been Bob.
I've been Ayo.
And this has been Nerds of UVM. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, live long and prosper.
Why do I always watch the ocean? I'm guarding against the greatest enemy of civilization, Gungans. If they show up, I'll kill them all. What are Gungans?
Jar Jar Binks is raised.
Oh, okay. That's even funnier now.